Sports, 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 sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to Sportsball, part of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. We talk about sports-related topics, but we talk about you, the fan, and what you like, whether it is a sport, team, athlete, event, or sports-related news. It is the NBA offseason, and we're getting ready to talk about the Western Conference. I did the Eastern Conference, and I wanted to go through who I think is going to be at the top of the Western Conference, because this year, the Western Conference is stacked. There's going to be a lot going on within the Western Conference, so it's going to be an interesting time. And right now, kind of right off the bat, you're looking at if we go bottom five in terms of who is probably going to be at the bottom of the Western Conference, I think it's a safe assumption right now that my bottom four teams would be the Utah Jazz, the Phoenix Suns, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Sacramento Kings. So that leaves one spot left at the number four or number 11 spot. There's a couple teams that I think could fit the mold here, but I'm actually going to go with the Memphis Grizzlies in this spot. And the reason why is because the Memphis Grizzlies, they're going to be just fine record wise, but they have a new coach. I don't think they got better this season or this offseason. They got rid of Desmond Bain, which okay, that was choice, but so that's definitely there. But I think part of the problem with Memphis is that the West is just too good right now. So if I take a look, the Utah Jazz are going to be the worst team in the West, borderline maybe the worst team in the league next year in order to try to load up for the 2026 draft. I think the Phoenix Suns are going to take a really big hit next year because it's Devin Booker and the Pips. That's really about it. So I don't see a whole lot of scenarios where the Phoenix Suns are going to be any good. The New Orleans Pelicans feel like a team that's just rudderless right now. And I do think that if there's anyone in the West that is primed for a rebuild and just to blow it up, I think the Pelicans are pretty high up there, especially with Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars running the show. I don't understand what they're doing, but hey, it is what it is. And then the Sacramento Kings are just going to continue to be the Sacramento Kings. They're investing in, old Chicago Bulls players like DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine for some strange reason. And I just don't understand what their strategy here is for all of this. So, and then my number 11 spot is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. So now we're in prime play-in territory. And the teams that I have currently in the play-in, comfortably, I have the Portland Trailblazers at the number 10 spot. And the Portland Trailblazers, I think the big reason why I have them here is because I think they have a sneakily good team. I just don't think their coaching is any good. That's my big problem with them. So I'm very curious to see how the Trailblazers are going to end up this year. I don't think Chauncey Billups is going to last his extension, and I think this is going to be a gap year because Dame is out for this. I think next year they're going to they're going to actually be pretty decent. So I have the Portland Trailblazers in the 10 spot. At number 9, I have the Dallas Mavericks. I think Cooper Flag is going to be good. I don't think he's going to move the needle that much because rookies tend to not be that good. But I do think that the Trailblazers, or not the Trailblazers, I do think the Dallas Mavericks have a lot of goodwill going for them. Jason Kidd is still a really good coach. They still have Anthony Davis, and yeah, I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to be okay next year. At the number 8 spot, I have the San Antonio Spurs. And the San Antonio Spurs could easily get lifted into that top 6 if Victor Wembanyama could stay healthy all year, if Dylan Harper hits the way that everybody thinks that he's going to hit, and if De'Aaron Fox can, ball for them. He just got extended, so good for them, which leaves the number 7 spot. And truth be told, I should have them lower. I still have the Golden State Warriors here until I see some type of improvement. All I see is Draymond getting a year older, Jimmy Butler getting a year older, Steph Curry getting a year older, and I don't see a whole lot of semblance of a bench or anything that is going to help. In fact, most of their bench, or like some key contributors to their bench, left this season. So I don't understand what Golden State is doing right now. And this Jonathan Kuminga thing is just going to hang over them all season until he gets traded inevitably. So I don't see a whole lot of scenarios where Golden State isn't in the play-in right now. So that leaves our top six right now. And our top six teams in the East or in the West. At number six, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. And yes, Luka Doncic is there for the long haul. And LeBron is still there. Unless Austin Reeves makes a pretty big leap, it's those two and a bunch of people who I'm hoping hits really well, but until I see some improvement and I see if JJ Redick can do better in season two, I have them at the sixth spot, teetering potentially on in the play-in. I can see Portland maybe moving up a little bit and San Antonio moving up a little bit. I don't see a whole lot of scenarios where anyone else moves up unless some of these other teams make a drastic move. At number five, I have the Clippers. And this is again another situation where until the Clippers do it in the playoffs, I still don't trust them. I'm never going to trust them until they get to, until they get to the postseason. Thank God they have Ty Lue to corral all of these individuals. But yeah, I'm not buying it right now. At number four, I've got the Minnesota Timberwolves until they find somebody who can replace Alexander Walker's production after he left for Atlanta. I got to see who's going to be there for their second unit, and I'm gonna wait to see if any of their second year players like Terrence Shannon or Rob Dillingham. What's his name? Tim Russell. Yeah, Rob Dillingham. Okay. Until I see more from Terrence Shannon and Rob Dillingham, I'm still gonna have them just barely in the top part of the Western Conference. At number three, I have the Houston Rockets. I think the Houston Rockets got markedly better with actually more by subtracting some individuals. So I think there's going to be a lot more runway for some of these players to do better. So I'm really looking forward to see what the Rockets look like with Kevin Durant and with another year under Ime Udoka tutelage, I suppose. My number two is the Denver Nuggets. I think the Nuggets had an amazing offseason. I still, Jokic is still the one of the best players in the world. And I really do think that, a new direction in terms of their coach is really going to be beneficial for them. And right now, everybody's chasing the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think the Thunder have a good chance to actually be the first team in a long time since the Warriors back to back with Kevin Durant to being the first team in almost 10 years to repeat. So I'm banking on them to repeat. They had a lot of injury luck last year, so assuming that all of that goes well, we'll have to wait and see. So but yeah, that is my top 15 in the Western Conference. The Western Conference is going to be loaded next year, as opposed to the Eastern Conference, which is going to be, quite frankly, pretty pathetic. But that's going to do it for this episode of Sportsball. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Shout out to iFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. If you have any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at highflyercreative.com. Check out the other shows on our network. We're really proud of the content that we're putting out, so please check out the other shows on our network. And finally, if you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM Crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at gmail.com. Until next time, pain heals, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever.